I'm from St. Pete, Florida. I played football. I was blessed that I didn't play a lot of football in high school. I was one of those guys who had a growth spurt, and the football coach came and was like, hey, you shouldn't be running track. You live in Florida, you're big. We need to get you on the football field. And I started playing football. So my team was nationally ranked, and so even though I wasn't a great player, I got recruited by a few schools, one of them being Kings Point. I visited all the service academies, came to Kings Point, and really liked it, and that kind of stuck in the back of my head. Was going to go the Naval Academy route, but I had to go to NAPS. Pretty much all the service academies wanted to send me to prep school because I was a public school student, so I didn't have all those, you know, like the calculus and all that, all those courses that that they require for you to come here. So I went to the prep school. After NAPS, I still had the low grades. I mean, I was like barely, I was a dude at NAPS who like every trimester I was in front of the academic board trying to explain why they should keep me. So when I left there, coaches at the Naval Academy were like, look man, we want to send you to another prep school. And that's when I was like, look, I'll hit the stop. I can't do the prep school again. It stuck in the back of my head, Kings Point. So I called the coaches up here. They said, yes, you know, we'll take you. Because I had, believe it or not, even though I didn't play a lot of football in high school, I had a great season when I was in prep school. So the coaches were like, yeah, we'll take you. So bam, next thing you know, 5 weeks later, I found myself indoctrination as a plebe here. In 2002. And I was in BKPA. I was one of the original, when it went from Black Kings Point to Broadening Kings Point, because I see we got some minorities with us, and that's how it was. We were that first class that really went out to the regiment and was like, hey, we're trying to get some students that weren't black to join, and we had to change the name, of course, because we went from huddling in the corner over here to doing some big things, getting the space upstairs that y'all enjoy now. That was something that we got while I was here. The trip to Eclipse every year, that was something we started when I was here. And I heard y'all still getting fried chicken at the meetings. That was something that Mr. Prince, I don't know how many of y'all had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Prince, but that was something that we started when I was here. So I'm glad to see the tradition still going. You guys are still together, and that's part of the what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Usually when I step out and talk to the college students, it's usually on a recruit tip. This is a lot better because I feel like I'm home and I'm not here to recruit. I'm pretty much just here to, it's more on the retention side. I want to make sure that you guys know that one, you got alumni out there that care about y'all. You got alumni out there that want to see you succeed. And you got alumni out there that are here to help you. So it's more on the retention. We can't always push the button, but sometimes we can tell you the person that can push the button for you to get things done. Like I said, I graduated out here in 2002, went to LA, my first duty station in the Coast Guard. I did law enforcement out there. It was right after September 11th, so the Coast Guard was starting, they were commissioning these anti-terrorism units. So that was an exciting time to be in the Coast Guard. I got to be a boarding officer, qualify as a boarding officer, go out, do some anti-narcotic deployments. I did some port security deployments when the war started, and then I put in for and got selected for flight training a year and a half into that tour. So I short toured out of there, went to Pensacola, did flight training, selected helicopters, left Pensacola as a helicopter aviator, and went my first tour in aviation to Corpus Christi, Texas. Flew there for 3.5 years, made aircraft commander, put in a request to leave early. One of the advice I got while I was here at Kings Point, matter of fact, was never stay your whole tour if you can. And I have kept to that. I've done it everywhere I've been so far. I've tried to bounce early. Like as soon as I qualify at something, bounce out to another tour. So I did that, put the request in, got it, put in for Kodiak, Alaska, got picked up for that. And that's where I'm at right now. I've been there for 6 months, and I have another 18 months there in Kodiak. For those of you on another point in time, if you want to talk to me about aviation, I'm always available. You can hit me up via email or phone call. It is a great community to be in the fleet, whether you're in the Marine Corps, Coast Guard, or Navy. I don't know too much about the Air Force and Army cats, but To be an aviator in sea services is a great community to be in. For those of y'all that are even thinking about doing it, do it. Because I had classmates that were thinking about doing it, and they didn't. And they tried to do it a year or two after graduation, and it's hard. Y'all can ask McNeil how hard it is to try and come active duty and do what you want to do once you spend a few years out in the civilian community. So for those of y'all that are even considering the active duty route, talk to me, do it. The job, the big money job is always going to be waiting for you. All right, we'll talk more on that later. You can do 3 years, 4 years active duty and go back. You go back out to the civilian world and make your money. So that's it. That's me. That's my career. Last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is expectations here at the academy. How many first classmen do you have? One first classman. Okay. How many second classmen? No. Third classman? And please, everybody. All right. I'll start with the please. Believe it or not, the things you do now are going to affect your peer relationships when you're seniors. Do not think that there's something that you're going to do now that people are going to, oh, well, we're about to see, and half these dudes I ain't going to see again for 2 years, and then, you know, whatever. Your senior year, you're going to have classmates that remember to the detail the very things or decisions or actions that you make right now as a leader. So keep that in mind. All right? If you got questions about that, feel free to ask them. My third classman, this is your best year, man. Enjoy it. I'm serious. How many of y'all went out to sea? Did you have fun? Passed all your sea projects? Awesome. Enjoy it, because you have no responsibilities. You're not a petty officer. You're not an officer. And it was my best academic year. I loved it. Third class. I'd do it over again if I could. If I could get a paycheck and still do it over again, I would do it. But trust me when I say it's the best year. If you even, whether you active duty or not, it's your best year in the military, because you had no responsibilities. You only had plebes in charge of. You just show up to class and wear your uniform right. If you, 10 years from now, you're going to look back on it and be like, I just had to show up to class and wear my uniform right. So enjoy it for the third classman. Second classman, start thinking about where you're going to work when you graduate, because my brother just said to me, he didn't want to believe me when I told him. For those of you that don't know, Everett Wright, Midshipmen Grant Wright, that's my brother. So, but he just said to me on the phone this weekend, I can't believe it. For all intents and purposes, I'm a senior right now. I mean, I just have to go out to sea, pass my sea projects, and then I'm going to be a senior. I'm like, yeah, it goes quick. That 8 months that you think you have all this time, 8 months to do your project, next thing you know, it's going to be June, you're going to be trying to scramble, get your project done, and then get back to school. Then you're going to be a senior. And he's like, I have given no thought whatsoever to what I want to do when I'm done. So have a plan for your second classmen. Have a plan the way you want your senior year to go. Have a plan about what you want to do after you graduate, and have a plan about what kind of internships or what you want to do to set yourself up to make yourself successful.